and nobody showed up. Done a few of those. Maybe you're even doing an open house today. People do open houses 7 days a week these days. You know, we used to do, my wife and I, we used to do like 3 open houses on Saturday, 3 open houses on Sunday. It was just like, you know, sometimes it was a real grind. And, you know, you get like this big beautiful house. This is my brother-in-law's vacation house here. And it's got like 5 bedrooms, like an acre and a half. It's just, you know, really nice house. And we're just hanging out here today, so we're not doing an open house. But you know, what happened is we used to just, you know, do an open house. And what if you had like a giant house like this, and like one person shows up and they walk in, it's like 5,000 square feet if it's like a 1, right? And like one person walks in, they're like, hello, and then they kind of, and there's like nobody here, and they're like, well, this isn't so great or anything like that. So, you know, we figured there had to be a better way to do an open house. And let's just break this down for a second. Look, sometimes if you're a real estate agent, if you're a listing agent, you're going to get the buyers, the sellers are going to say, hey, you know, why don't you do an open house? And the reason is because they see you sitting around and you're not doing anything. They don't think you're doing anything. And they're like, you know, get out here, do something. Let me just see you, you know, like do something for a change, you know, have an open house. So sometimes they ask you, I get it. And sometimes they say, you know, hey, what are you doing to sell my house? And if you're the average agent that just sells like 1, 2 houses a year, you're like, well, I don't have any money to advertise or do this or that. So I know I'll do an open house. But here's the deal. We know this, real estate agents, less than 3% of all the houses sell at an open house even. I mean, some statistics have it even as low as 1%. So you also have to take a look at this. You know, they're making an effort. They're getting, you know, they're going to like pressure clean the driveway. They're going to, you know, like blow all the leaves. They're going to clean the whole house. They're going to make all the beds. They're going to get out of the house on a Sunday afternoon so that you can come in and do your open house and everything like that. So it can't just be like, you know, you have one person there. It's not fair to them. It's not fair to you, and it's not fair to your family, because look, when we're doing like 3 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, I'm giving up my entire weekend, and I need to be getting something in return for it. So most open houses, I'll just be honest with you, I kind of viewed these as a lose-lose. It was a lose for the seller, it was a lose for me. And we turned it around to a win-win. Let me just tell you exactly how we did it, really quickly. So what we said is, we said, look, okay, so you got this nice subdivision here, and I don't know, there's 100, 200 homes in this area or something like that. And if I were going to put this house on the market, what we decided to do is we actually invited all the neighbors to a premier open house. And what we did is we actually went out to Office Depot and bought the wedding invitations, you know, the kind you make yourself. But it's got, you know, like the really nice white linen envelopes, and it's got the little thing that comes in with the little border. We actually hand addressed all of those to all of the people in the neighborhood. And we put like a little love stamp on it, or doves or something, so it looked like a wedding invitation. And the return address label was not, you know, like, hey, Tim Johnson, I'm trying to sell your house, real estate guy. Nothing cheesy, nothing salesy, anything like that. It was just, you know, like, hey, the Johnsons and this and that, if you even needed a return address, because, you know, why do you need one if you know that this is the current address for everybody? You can look it up in the property appraiser, right? So we invited them to the premier open house. Here's the difference, is they actually become kind of my sphere of influence, right? You ever had anybody come to your house and say, man, I love your house, I love this area, you know, this is really cool. If anything ever comes available in your area, you know, in this neighborhood, you know, be sure to let me know, okay? Well, all the people in this area, 100 plus people that live here, right? They got a bunch of people that come to their house and say, oh, I love this subdivision. If anything ever comes available in this area, be sure to let me know. Okay, so if I'm doing a premier open house on this house and I invite all the neighbors, right? gives them an opportunity to come on in, see, and then they can go out and kind of be the megaphone and tell the whole world, the people at work, their friends, relatives, maybe they want their mom to live here, maybe they want their brother to live here, right? So they can go out and tell some folks, okay? So you see how now all of a sudden it makes it more productive, okay? But then we said, all right, but again, what happens when people come into these open houses? Who's coming into these open houses? I'll make this case to you, and maybe you never thought of it this way, but I maintain that most of the people who come into these houses are sellers, or at least there's a lot of sellers. And I don't know whether this happened every single time, but we roughly counted on getting one new seller listing for every premier open house that we did. So we do a premier open house, we get one seller listing. And here's why. Because you have people who are actively selling. I guarantee you there's houses for sale in this neighborhood. I don't know how many, half a dozen or so. A lot of those people would come to see what we're doing, right? Hey, what are these agents doing, okay? There's sellers who are listed right now and maybe not very happy with their agent, or it's getting ready to expire and they're gonna need to choose another agent. Again, these are people I want coming in to see me, okay, without me having to chase them down. And there's also people that are thinking about selling but haven't told a soul yet. So wouldn't you like to get in front of those people who haven't even told anybody they're thinking of selling? You ever had anybody say, don't tell the neighbors because we need to tell them first? So they're gonna come and check us out and see what we're doing. And let me tell you, when I would go and talk to them about seeing their house, about selling their house, you know what they would say to me? They say, hey, are you gonna do one of those premier open house things, like with the chef and everything like that? And I'm like, I absolutely am. So that brings me to the pièce de la résistance, if I said that right, I don't know. Probably shouldn't be using foreign languages in these videos, right? Not with my foreign language skills. But what we did is we actually invited a chef. We invited a local chef in to do a cooking demonstration for 1 hour at our open houses. So we'd have an open house from say 1 until 2:30, and we'd have the chef there from like 1:15 to 2:15. That brought a lot of people in, but what happened was people would kind of come in and they'd be taking a look around here, and they'd take a look around here and everything like that, and the chef would be like, oh, okay, I'm just getting ready to add, you know, the butter to the risotto, and everybody would get all excited, and they're like, oh, and how much wine do you use with that, and everything like that. And I actually had people, like one time the chef said, hey, look, we're like 5 minutes before the risotto's done. And they actually turned around, walked back outside, and said, well, let's go look at the dock and, you know, the pool and everything. And they stayed 5 more minutes and looked at the house just so they could be there for the risotto at the end. So anyway, that was really how we turned just regular, everyday open houses into events, and we called them a premier open house. One last tip, takeaway on this, and this is, you guys all have tons of buyers in your database, okay? Let's say at any one time for this house, I don't know, maybe this is an $800,000 house that we would probably all want to have listed, right? We'd love to have a listing like this. And I guarantee you, of the 7 or 8 other houses here, most likely I did not get in front of any of those people before they listed their house. So what I would do is I would take my database of buyers and I'd say, hey, if you register with me, I can really help you out, because I'm going to let you know about this house the very first day that it hits the market. We're going to do a premier open house. I'm going to let you know about it before it hits the market, because the best deals go fast. You know that. So the best deals go fast, so you need to come in and see it on day one. So I would send out 50, 75, 100 invitations to people who are qualified to buy an $800,000 house looking in this area. Let them know, hey, this Saturday from 1 until 2:30, we're gonna be having a chef there, cooking demonstration. This is the premiere, this is when the house first hits the market, this is your first opportunity. Is this a benefit to my buyers? It absolutely is. Again, going back to your sellers, your client, is this a benefit to your sellers if you could run 50, 75, 100 people, even if they don't show up, even if only 10% of them show up, but if you could run qualified buyers to the house on the very first day, because that's when you want the activity. We always liked offers coming in right away within the first week, right? You don't want to wait like 30, 60, 90 days and the price reductions come, and is this a haunted house? Why isn't this sold yet? And everything else sells fast, and this avoids all the questions if you can just front end load it with a lot of opportunities. So, hey, anyway, I hope this helped you. You know, hopefully, if you're doing an open house today, you had some great results. I'm going to be doing some live teaching just around the state, a couple different dates and times and everything. If you type yes in the comments here, I'll send you the dates, times, and locations, like where it is I'm going to be and when. It's more teaching just like this. This is what I teach to my elite agents. It's going to be the exact same type of teaching. So just type in yes, like I said, somewhere in the comment box, and I'll shoot you the dates, times, and location, and we'll have some fun, and I'll give you some more high-level tips like this. Okay? We'll see you out there. Take care.